If you follow my Patreon page, you know that I very recently went to Bryce Canyon National Park and Zion National Park. And you may also know that I'm working on a book of the entire experience. And also that if you are a VIP member on Snapchick.com or a Patreon patron, the book, when it's ready, is all yours. I'm still reviewing and inspecting a few thousand photos from this amazing trip to find you all the best of the best, the ones that truly will put you in my shoes for the trip. And by that, I mean that they aren't all postcard photos. Those are the easy ones at these absolutely beautiful locations. I mean something a little bit different when it comes to selections for the book. Let me share a few of those photos with you, and then also the stories behind them, to explain what I mean when I say put you in my shoes. In this case, I mean my very, very, very wet canyoneering shoes that I wore through the Narrows at Zion. As soon as my feet hit the water on this hike, I was smiling, and I'm pretty sure that the smile did not leave my face the entire 4+ hours that I was hiking there. Frankly, I only left because I needed to catch the bus back to town so that I could return my rental gear. This photo is different from what you usually see of the Narrows, but I was so much more interested in the bright green foliage and how you were always snaking around a corner in the canyon, like you never really knew where you were going. It was a beautiful day, and we were in the sunlight for quite a while in the beginning. And here's a photo of a beautiful, if a little dirty, bald eagle. I happened upon him circling a lake in the Bryce Canyon area. He was fishing. After a stunned few moments, I ran for my D500 and 70-200. I may have way too many photos of this guy. I posted one on Facebook and one on Instagram. I also have a series of him finally catching a fish that I think will be in the book. But this one strikes me because you get a sense of the movement and you can see his intensity. I was just so engrossed in him that I didn't even realize how cold I was until he flew off to eat his breakfast in a tree. I could barely get my hands off of my camera. It was like they were frozen clutching it. In my hurry to get my camera, I didn't think about also grabbing a jacket or gloves. And here is a surprise I found. I had some extra time to kill on my travel day between Bryce and Zion, and I remembered the area map that's in the Bryce Canyon Visitor Center. It shows different area parks, including Cedar National Monument. So I stopped by and I hiked a couple of miles to see this absolutely incredible view and learned about the ancient bristlecone pine trees there. I think this place doesn't get as much attention being so close to the big national parks, but I was so glad that I went and I got to experience it. I was lucky enough to be at Zion when the leaves were changing. This was on a several-mile hike that I took to view emerald pools. I ended up getting off on a side trail and hiking to a completely different location on the way back. With the buses running throughout the park during that time of year, every one of these little hikes that are off the main drag are sort of like a choose-your-own-adventure book. Like, I thought, well, gosh, I wonder where that trail goes. I'm gonna go on it. It was definitely a happy accident this time because we ended up seeing 3 little deer walking ahead of us on the trail. And last is this one from a little before sunrise at Bryce Canyon. Before leaving, I had this plan to be on the canyon floor at sunrise one day. But as I was finishing up another hike the day before this was taken, I decided that I had to be here to sunrise. Somewhere midway up the Navajo Loop Trail, I was definitely rewarded when the sun finally came up. And the really nice part was that it was a balmy 32 degrees Fahrenheit this morning. And I say that with a laugh because it actually felt warm because the day before had been 22 degrees at sunrise. The reason why I can't simply throw these and the other photos together in a book is that I need to focus on the flow. By the end of the book, I want you to feel the surprise and amazement and exhaustion and even the wet feet. Maybe the book inspires you to go to these destinations or some other of the places that you've been telling yourself that you've always wanted to get to or to get back to. In short, the book I'm working on is a love letter to these parks, and it's also a love letter to you, my loyal followers and supporters. That sounds a little bit over the top, but I mean it. Snapchick is certainly not rich chick. Every dollar of support on Patreon and from my VIP members goes towards getting me out in the world with the best gear that I own, out to these absolutely incredible, visceral locations, and then capturing them in a realistic way that I, in turn, can share with all of you. And my deal with you is that if you're not sure where to go or what to bring or how to capture those once-in-a-lifetime images, you can email me anytime, and I will give you my best suggestions. For my Snapchick.com VIP members and my Patreon patrons, you won't need to wait much longer for this latest book. It's coming very soon, definitely this month. And if you've been to my Patreon page or checked out the VIP program on my site, and this book is something that you are interested in, there is still time to sign up to receive your ebook copy when it's all done. And I have one more thing to mention. Just like with my recent Yellowstone book, my biggest supporters, my Grand Canyon patrons, you will receive a real, full-color, hard copy of the book with a few extra behind-the-scenes type images too. This is my book from the Yellowstone trip. Each one of these comes to me first, and I express my thanks on the inside cover in my own writing, and then I package the book up and send it to you. I was so happy to send out these Yellowstone books, and I cannot wait to get the new books in so that I can personalize them for each of my top supporters and then mail them out. And for those of you receiving this hard copy, this is not just a book for your shelf. Take it out, flip through it, use it like a workbook, even write on it if you like. Seriously, I've made it so that you even can just lie it flat when it's open on the table. Last, thank you so much, everyone. And now for me, it's time to get back to work. I have to make the tough choices now in culling down my images. I'm definitely aiming to have this ready next week, so check back often.